Dare I say, this was the most impressive game I've seen LeBron James play this season. Slick, there was one particular moment that taught me just how impressive this performance was by LeBron. Okay. There were 35 seconds left. It's a loose ball. Game's tied. It's knotted up, and I mean knotted up. LeBron James has a decision to make. At 38 years of old, he's either going to choose pain or he's not. And he chose in that moment to dive for that loose ball. Now, the refs made an egregious call in my mind. I do not believe that was a foul. But call it a foul, I don't care. It was about LeBron James' intention at 38 years of age to say, you know what? This game means so much that I'm going to lay my 6'8", 250-pound frame on the floor, knowing this will hurt. I don't care. It means that much to me. LeBron James played more minutes than anybody on the floor yesterday. LeBron James, if I'm not mistaken, had more points than anybody on the floor yesterday. LeBron James had as many 3 points made as any of his teammates. He had as many field goals more made than any of his teammates. When I watched that game, I say that was the most impressive game I have seen LeBron play because he transcended his own physical limitations as it pertains to injury and said, I'm putting it all out there. I am leaving it all on the line. I haven't seen a more impressive performance by the 38-year-old king all season long. But, George Taylor, you were in the arena, and it was rowdy. How impressed were you, or were you at all impressed with LeBron James last night?
Yes, I was very impressed with LeBron James last night. You're saying at his big age, he should be diving on the floor.
Age.
Should not be diving on the floor. That's the difference between a must-win game and a regular season game. There's no reason for LeBron to be diving on the floor after loose balls. And I do think that is technically a foul if you go into somebody
It's a foul in any sport. It's a foul in your sport.
Going for the ball.
I'm just telling you.
In no way defending the refs last night. I don't think that was a very well refereed game for either side, which is kind of what got the crowd involved very early, because certainly Crypto Arena felt a lot of those early calls did not go the Lakers' way, and it definitely swung the momentum in the building. Lakers fans were very loud and very involved and emotional, and that helps in these big games as well, especially with guys who have not been in this situation outside of LeBron and AD. This is the first time this group is playing together in a postseason game, because I know these don't actually count. But that was the performance that you want from LeBron James last night. Look, it was clunky, it was ugly, it was hideous. There were balls being dribbled off of knees and huge mistakes and big moments. But at the end of the day, your best player, who is still LeBron James, your most experienced player, the king, came up big when he needed to. You've got to be able to overcome momentum swings during games in the postseason.
Talk about it.
You've got to be able to win when you're not playing your best game in the postseason. You have to make big defensive stops. You have to overcome mistakes, hopefully not, the biggest mistakes in those moments, but that's how it has to go. And the postseason games are not generally that straightforward. Sometimes, if you're overmatched, yes, but when they're close, there's stories, there's waves, there's momentum, and LeBron knows that better than anyone.
Okay, guys.
Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Why? Look, it's LeBron James we're talking about. Like, he played well. I mean, he was
great.
He was minus 14.
He played great.
He was minus 14. He only had he was only worse than that 2 games this season. I know that's not everything.
It's not anything.
I mean, it counts for something, or they wouldn't keep track of it. I'm just saying, this was an ugly game of basketball.
Sure.
And for LeBron made 2 great plays at the end of the game. He also turned the ball over inside the final minutes. It happened like all the time last night. It happened every other time down the floor. Like, if you want my honest opinion about this game, all I could think about during this game was the diehard NBA fan that watches college basketball, and they're just like, this would never happen in the NBA. Check out all these missed shots. Check out all these turnovers. It looked like college basketball. That's what it looked like to me. LeBron played fine, but is that the standard? Is that the standard we have for LeBron James? I'm just saying. I hate to say it. Like, can you do this? The whole crown thing, like, he's the guy. I get that he's 38 years old, but don't we have a higher standard for what counts as incredible for LeBron James?
Why are you so shocked?
Do we know?
My God!
Look, he played well and the Lakers won, and that's what matters. But, like, am I impressed? You can't say you're impressed.
He had 30, 10, 6. Won the game, dished to Shooter for the game-winning 3, if not for AD's asinine erroneous error. I do not understand how you could be anything but absolutely and fully impressed, Slick. What were you?
I was impressed.
Thank you. Can we go to break?
That a 38-year-old, a 38-year-old was diving on the floor at the end of the game played 45 minutes. There was only one game this year where he played more minutes. It was the double overtime against the Dallas Mavericks. So, yes, I was impressed. And I was impressed that he, in spite of all that, he had enough energy at the end of the game to make the two most important plays, which was to hit the three and to get the kick out to Dennis Schroeder for the bucket that essentially won the game. But the reason that they had to make the comeback, the reason that they were in a hole, was because of LeBron James. I told you guys, I think we may even have it. You know what? Rather than you guys try to spring it on me, I'm going to ask for it because we were having a text conversation.
We were.
And unbeknownst to me,
we're going to bring it to the show?
My friends here, decided to bring it to the show.
Oh, no. Not approved.
No, I don't like
this is the end of the group chat.
I don't like this.
This is the end of the group. We can't scroll up. And,
no, that's all we need. We need
Okay.
that. We'll just take that right there.
Hey, we're taking screenshots.
That makes me real uneasy, guys. I'm not going to lie.
Here is the heart of it. That's what he was. In spite of all that he was doing, he was a minus rather than a plus. He still finished the game as the biggest overall minus for the Los Angeles Lakers. I know you don't
care.
But here's the thing.
One thing.
And Dave said it. Like,
and I didn't care then either.
It's but it's the expectation of what LeBron has been versus what he did. He got the job done, but we have expected and seen so much more from LeBron James prior to this that he's out-dueling Kyle Anderson and Mike Conley at the end of the game to close it with the help of Dennis Schroeder.
I have one question.
I'm sorry, but that's not this.
I have a question. Slick, what do you think is the most impressive play of LeBron's career? The one, what's the one that comes to mind?
Well, the immediate one that comes is the rundown block.
Oh, he set a block. A pivotal block in a pivotal game.
Yes.
I wonder if LeBron James had a pivotal block yesterday. I don't happen to have it. I don't happen to have already pulled it just in the event you would have said a rundown block. I don't happen to have it.
Y'all brought the receipts to the show.
I wonder if a pivotal block, turn around, get an and one on the other side of the court when you're already down by what's about to be 12, go on 13 points, and now you cut that deficit. I just wonder if a pivotal block is the most impressive play of LeBron James' career, and that block, if you were watching the game, you know just how pivotal. Clearly, it was not a rundown block in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. That's not what I'm saying. But if you were watching that game, you understand that moment when the T-Wolves were about to spread the lead even bigger. He goes rundown block, sprints down the other end of the court, and one. It will look, not and one, excuse me. It will look different, Slick. Understand that. LeBron will look different. He doesn't have a headband down anymore. He's not wearing black and red anymore. He's now wearing purple and gold. I get it. It'll look different, but the impact is the same.
No, it's not.
They got a W. He had 30, 10, and 6. He made the right plays in the right moment. It is the same king that we crowned in 12, 13, 14, and it is the same king that we are crowning right now.
I'm not even sure you believe that, but I know you don't believe that, and I doubt that Joy believes that, and I certainly don't believe that. He's not the same.
I don't believe he's the same, but he's not the same. How could he be the same?
Understood. But I'm not asking that. I'm not asking that.
Being the same might not be what's required to win.
She preaching. Woo! Hold on. I just got to stretch.
Wait a minute.
I'm not going nowhere. I just got to stretch. I just got to stretch. She was preaching. You know, in church, when somebody say a bar, you just got to start preaching. You got to stretch a little bit. Go ahead.
Won't he do it? Being the same may not be what is required to win. Would it be nice for him to go out there and efficiently score more points than he scored, although they didn't need more points than he scored? Would they prefer less turnovers? Sure.
Of course they would.
By the way, there's quite a few other people that played for the Lakers yesterday that made their own mistakes that we're not going to highlight or discuss thoroughly because they're not named LeBron James.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, you needed to win this game.
And what
it was a hideous game. You overcame a massive lead by anyone's standards in a essentially elimination game.
I love when he does that. That's my favorite.
He made the two biggest plays. So when it comes down to LeBron James being the same as he was in Miami or he was in Cleveland, no. He's not the same. He's got years more wear and tear on his body.
Yes.
And weight on his legs.
Understood.
All of those things.
Understood.
But they won the game, and they won because of him. So you can plus minus it to death. And that's fun.
To death.
But do they win that game without LeBron James on the floor?
No, they do. No, they do not. But here's the thing. To equate the rundown block against the Golden State Warriors in Game 7 of the finals to a play-in game against the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I hear you.
Is in the third quarter is there's no equivalence, and the reason they're in the play-in game.
Talk to me.
Is because LeBron James is no longer what LeBron James was. So I can enjoy, appreciate, and feel good about seeing LeBron James continue to be a factor in the NBA
Sure.
and at age 38.
Sure.
I genuinely am impressed by that. But when we start to say he's the same or he's doing the same things, that's where you lose me.
Okay, let me get you back. If I lost you, let me get you back. Slick.
Yes.
Let me get you back.
Over here.
There were 4 all-star caliber players in that game last night. All-star caliber, right? When I think Ant can be all-star caliber. Cat is all-star caliber. He's all-star caliber. This isn't an asinine thought. Is he all-star caliber? Like he has all-star
I put him on my All-NBA second team, and which I am massively regretting.
Thank you. The reason I say all-star caliber is because Slick was doubting him during the game last year. So Ant, Cat, AD, LeBron. LeBron James was by far the most pivotal, most valuable, and most important player in that game last night. You could argue Cat through the first 3.5 quarters. Fourth quarter, foul trouble, overtime, he disappeared. So if there are 4 all-stars on the court, 4 of them.
Yeah.
And LeBron James is by far and away the best player on the court.
Yes.
Then that is why I am saying he is the same. Not because he's going to give you 45, 15, and 5 in the 2012 Game 6 Eastern Conference Final. Not because of that.
Yeah.
But because when you have greats on the court, LeBron James has always been the greatest player on the court. That is what I mean by the same. LeBron doesn't have to be the best player in basketball. He has to be the best player on the court the night in which he is playing, and he was yesterday.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying he's the same.
And with all those qualifications, I'm 100% with you. If you're playing a mid-Minnesota Timberwolves team and their best players are Karl Anthony Towns and 3 for 17 Anthony Edwards, and LeBron is better than those two, and I think Anthony Davis did some important things. He made a boneheaded move, but I mean, he dominated the boards.
LeBron was better.
I'll say LeBron was more impactful.
Fine.
All right? Because of the plays he made at the end of the game. If that's what you're saying, I'm 100%. You and brother, more time.
My dog.
We are right there together.
Sure.
Without question.
Sure.
A lot of qualifiers.
Now, but there's a lot of qualifiers there. And what was great about LeBron James in his heyday, we didn't have qualifiers.
True.
Like when he hit his zenith,
let me ask you this.
It was against anybody.
Let me ask you this before we go to a topic that I am just as eager to talk about. Is LeBron James capable of being the best player on the floor whenever he's on the floor?
No.
Oh, I see. I can't go there with you.
That's okay.
We'll address it more. Right. We'll address it more.
I will row that boat myself.
You're going to get tired, and LeBron didn't.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.